So a couple months ago, I went through all my shelves and I put a bunch of books in a box that I said, if I don't come back to these, I am going to unhaul them. So here we are today. I'm going to be unhauling these books. I am going to be taking them to a new home. I'm going to be giving them to a school that I used to go to so that the kids there can actually get these books. I do think that I told you all that I was going to be donating these, and I just said, you know what? I'm going to sit on them. I'm going to make sure that I don't want them anymore, and I don't. So we're gonna go through the box. I'm gonna tell you which books I'm getting rid of off my shelves and that are going to be going to a new home. So first up we have Black Widow. This is Forever Red. This is by Margaret Stohl. This is a YA Marvel take, and though I was very interested in this at the time, and I feel like I would still maybe want to read this at some point in the future. I know I will not read this physically, so I'm going to pass this along and give this to a library so that some kids in the area can actually get access to newer YA books so that they have a little bit something easier for them to read rather than reading these same 3 titles I know are probably still in that library. So here's this one. I also have Wicked Deep. This is by Shay Earnshaw. This is a paranormal witchy story that I never got around to. And again, though this is something that I might want to visit in the future, I would probably borrow this from my local library or from the Brooklyn Library, listen to it on audio. I don't think this is something that I want to read. Then I have all 3 of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and even though I loved the movie Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, I feel like I just missed the train on these. I was definitely not reading these when they would have been scary to me. I think these are super interesting. The scary pictures in here are absolutely adorable. Like, I think they're so creepy and well done, but like adorable in like the sense of like, these are adorable. Like a kid would definitely be scared by these. I really like that these lean into like telling scary stories by the campfire, so I'm excited to like pass these along so that some kids can get some good use out of these. Then I have this copy of My Brother's Name. This is a YA thriller that I know nothing about. I think this deals with schizophrenia, so I'm going to pass this along. As you can see, this was originally a library book, which I don't even know where I got it, so I'm gonna pass this along. Maybe some kids could enjoy this and have some fun reading it. Like I said, I just want to give some better access to books because I wish there had been better access for me when I went to school there. This one was an ARC that I happened to stumble across in Goodwill, so I grabbed it. This one is more of a dystopian type story about a girl who's never met a boy before and like her destiny to repopulate the world, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but again, this is a YA dystopian. I feel like some kid would love it. Another one that I was really sad to see let go, but I know I'm not going to continue this series, that was Scythe by Neal Shusterman. I really loved this, which means I do really think that some kids gonna love this too. This is another YA dystopian that was actually really fun and like inventive. This is kind of a darker story following, you know, these people in the world called Scythes who decide who live and who dies, and the journey of these 2 people trying to become a Scythe. So really love this story. Just I've outgrown the YA dystopia and I want to pass it along, so like I've said 5,000 times, someone else can enjoy it. I also am going to be passing along Thunderhead, which is the sequel to that book, so the teacher, whoever gets these, will only have to buy 1 copy. They'll only have to buy 1 other book in order to fill out their classroom. Then I also have a copy of The Diviners by Libba Bray. This was a very special edition that I happened to find. It was really cute, really cool. This will probably look good in someone's classroom. This is a 1920s paranormal story. This was a really good one. I just have outgrown the series and want to pass it along. This is Perks of Being a Wallflower. I don't know who needs to know about Perks of Being a Wallflower, but this one was one that they probably have a copy of this, but I don't want it, so someone else is getting another copy. Then we have A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kimmer. I don't know anything about this. I think this is a fae. I think it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I just know that I purchased it for very cheap, like $5, which is what it says right here, for something, $4.97. So I will be passing this along as well. I think I was gonna meet Bridget Kimmer, and I'm pretty sure this is like a YA. This might be more new adult. I never read this. This was like right as I was getting where I wouldn't read physical books, and there's no way now that I'm gonna sit down and read almost a 500-page book. physically, especially in a hardcover. That's not happening. Then I have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This is a story about a young boy who is going through a lot of stress because his mother is sick, and he finds about a monster that calls to him from outside. This has some really good illustrations and it is very beautiful. This story was really hard to read. I'm trying to find some more of the illustrations, but it's about a monster that's outside of his house and that comes to him every night. This one is such a powerful story, and I once again would just like to pass it along, even if it is just to like a teacher who would want to read this. I think this is a YA. This might be more of a middle grade, but it has like a heavy topic. So more YA in my opinion. So then we have A Heart in the Body of the World. This one is by Deb Caletti. This one is one that I bought specifically for a reading vlog, and I decided I wasn't gonna do it. I'm not gonna read this. This is a YA contemporary about a girl who is running and her grandfather is like following like right behind her, and the mental and emotional stress of doing this like marathon and like running every single day. And she's also running from a traumatic experience. So this is a YA contemporary. I'll never get around to it, but I figure someone might. Whoever gets this book is gonna be really upset because I'm giving them book 2 in a series and I'm keeping book 1 for myself. This is Girl of Nightmares by Kendare Blake. This is the second book of the Anna Dressed in Blood series. This one is just the continuation of what's happening. I can't tell you anything else about it. I thought the first book read a lot like Dean Winchester, like a teenage Dean Winchester, so I'm keeping it. No one gets it now. I have An Abundance of Catherines, which one deals a lot with math for some reason, and Let It Snow. I only like John Green's stories, so passing this along. It's about a blizzard and 3 Christmassy stories. I don't really remember. I have Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock. This one deals with suicide. This is about a boy who writes a suicide note who is going to kill himself on his 18th birthday, and your story along with the day like, he's going to kill himself. So this one's very dark and heavy subject matter, but again, this is one that I think that I did read in high school that I think someone else would really enjoy too, especially if it's a student who deals with mental health. I think this would be a good one. I have 2 YA thrillers. I have Sadie by Courtney Summers, which I do want to read this, but I want to listen to the audiobook because I heard it's much better. I have The Cheerleaders by Karen Thomas, which I completely forgot that I wanted to even read. So that tells me I didn't want to read it that badly. So there's plenty of other thrillers I'd like to get to. That is not going to be one of the ones I get to. I have another YA contemporary, which this one is actually signed to me. So whoever gets this gets a signed copy of this book. This one is a story about a girl who is dealing with suicide, and she finds a pen pal who will commit suicide with her. And I have Little and Lion. I'm pretty sure this is a bisexual story. We have a heroine who is bisexual, and I don't know anything else about it, but I'm pretty sure there's like LGBT characters. If there is, I would love to get that into a conservative school. Just being honest. The school is not conservative in general, but like everyone in this area is really conservative. So if we can get some diversity into hands of children, let's do it. And then lastly, I have 5 Feet Apart, which I really loved this when I read it. Another sad sick teenager stories. So those are all the books that I'm going to be unhauling. If you're still here, leave me any kind of animal emoji. I'm specifically thinking a squirrel, but I don't think there are squirrels, so a cow would work. I love cows. If you want to leave me a cow, I'd love that. And I'll chat with you all in my next video. Bye everyone.